The adolescent years are critical for identity development. Kids begin to question, who am I? And they also begin to wonder who they would be in the future. The experience of having an identity includes the memories, experiences, relationships, and values that create one's sense of self. The combination of these experiences creates a steady sense of who one is over time. The influence of background and culture in the development of identity is strongly influenced by external characteristics and socio-political circumstances over which a person has little or no control, such as height, race, or socioeconomic class. Therefore, implicit bias can have a very detrimental effect and interfere with the process of healthy identity development. The influence of implicit bias goes beyond individual identity. Our society is a complex system of organizations, institutions, processes, and policies. When these systems are created by individuals who are not aware of their implicit bias, the systems perpetuate social, economic, and political structures that are harmful to one of the groups of people who are subject to the bias and stereotypes. In our country, people of color and living under poverty are the most affected. The terms systemic bias and systemic racism are currently used to call out the injustices that many people and groups suffer because of their race, ethnicity, or economic wealth. For these reasons, it has become indispensable that youth learn to actively challenge stereotyping and discrimination. When they do so respectively, it reinforces their sense of identity, sense of care for their families, and stimulates their civic engagement. They will be more likely to become part of the solution to decrease systemic bias and racism in our society. Remember that we can help kids to embrace diversity and promote cultural openness. Assumptions, prejudices, and stereotypes are embedded in the deepest level of culture. Most of the time, they get passed on generation after generation, creating patterns of relationships and behavior that are difficult to change. However, we can help our teens be less influenced by implicit bias when we model cultural openness. This way, values of tolerance and acceptance will be passed on by our children to their children, and so on, strengthening relationships and their sense of community. We promote cultural openness when 1. Connect with other cultures. It's important to build bridges between our culture and other cultures by being curious about people and groups different than ours. Explore other cultures through books and songs, or by getting to know people who seem different. Reject the idea that one culture is superior to another culture. Make a habit to watch foreign movies that portray other cultures in a positive light and show our common humanity. 2. Don't assume. Ask questions. Let's exercise our curiosity and become a fact finder. Resist the use of stereotypes and fill the gaps with real information about the people and/or groups you are interacting with. When someone says something like, Middle Eastern women are submissive, ask the question, are all Middle Eastern women submissive? Do we know someone who is not? Can we look that up? Maybe there are famous Middle Eastern women who are the leaders of their families and communities. Remember that culture is fluid and that each individual is different. 3. Exercise empathy. Let's encourage children to listen attentively, ask questions, and consider the perspective of the other person or group. Help them to see how harmful it is to make someone the other. Encourage them to put themselves in their shoes. Show them to be compassionate and bridge builders with your example. Proudly talk to kids about the different cultural backgrounds of families represented in the class. Find meaningful stories to share with them that shape who they are. Take the time to examine cultural frame of references. Think about the ways this frame of reference contributes to implicit biases children may have about other people or groups. Model honesty with when you find yourself using stereotypes. Tell kids that you need to find more facts and information about the situation before you draw any conclusions. Nurture kids' positive sense of identity. Identity development is twofold. It is important that your kids grow up with a strong sense of who they are, while at the same time they learn to respect people and groups that are different from you and your family. Practice tolerance and cultural openness. Show interest and curiosity about other people and keep an open mind about their perspectives and ways of life. Remember, culture is constantly influencing and shaping our relationships with ourselves, kids, families, and our community. We can't avoid its influence, but we can learn to become aware of it.